DIYs, craft hauls, and thrift flips. If you enjoy that kind of content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And also, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll be notified of all of my future uploads. Today's video, I am bringing to you some budget-friendly St. Patrick's Day tier tray decor using items from the Dollar Tree. Hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. Okay, for this project, you're going to need 4 arrow pieces. I just cut the end of outdoor stakes off to get the arrow piece. And then I designed these words on Cricut Design Space. And you're also going to need a 9-inch craft stick, which I cut the rounded pieces off. And I'm also using Waverly ink, Waverly wax, and then I'm also using Kelly green. I'm going to start out by painting my 9-inch craft stick with the Waverly wax, and we're going to wipe off the excess with a baby wipe. And it's just going to give it this real nice wood color. Now this base I got off a gnome that I got from the Dollar Tree, and it just needs to have some black painted on top to touch it up a little bit. So that's all I'm doing with that, is we're just going to give it a nice fresh coat of black paint. And now I'm going to mix Kelly green and with the antique wax, and when we do this, it's going to give us a real pretty forest green color, and you're going to see me do that a lot in this video, and you can see how pretty green this is. Once we have that mixed up, I'm going to give all 4 of my arrows a coat of this green paint. And once that's dry, I'm going to do my transfers. And I'm just going to lay them out with how I'm going to want them on my stick. We're going to transfer the words onto each arrow. We're going to glue those down. And then once we have those glued down, we are going to glue our stick onto our stand. And that's going to make this project complete. Now, what I did when I glued them down so that I know where to put the hot glue, I laid the arrows out on my stick, and I took a pencil and just marked where each arrow was, and I just filled that in with some glue. And once we have all that done, this project's complete. Let me know what you think. Okay, so for this project, I printed out a clover off Cricut Design Space. I'm using one of these wooden puzzle pieces that you can get from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to trace out this wooden puzzle piece onto some scrapbook paper that I got from Hobby Lobby. And then once I have that cut out, we're just going to glue that onto the front of this puzzle piece to hide all those empty spots. This is one of these puzzle pieces that has the stars, squares, and circles you can get from the Dollar Tree. You can leave those pieces in there, but I took them out because I actually used them for another project that I did a while back. And I actually ended up gluing 2 pieces of scrapbook paper onto this because I decided I wanted the back covered with the same scrapbook paper. Now once I have that scrapbook paper on there, I'm just going to sand off the edges and make it look smoother, like it's one cohesive piece. Now what I'm going to do with the clothespins is I'm going to make me a little stand. So all I did was took the clothespin apart so that I have 2 pieces. And I'm going to glue it to the back, lining it up. And then I'm going to glue the second piece to where it's fitting into the little slots on the clothespin, like you can see here. And I'm just going to put that down in there and glue it. And we have a perfect stand for our clover wood decor piece. It's going to fit perfect on a tier tray. Leave a comment in the comment section down below and let me know how you like this project. So for this project, you're going to need 4 6-inch pieces of wood. I'm just using some craft sticks that I cut 6 inches long. I'm using a Love printable that I got off Cricut Design Space, some nutmeg brown, and some green paint. So I'm going to cut the rest of my sticks down to 6 inches, and like I said, you're going to need 4 of these. And all I did was use craft sticks that I cut 6 inches long. And once we have those cut, then we're going to glue all these together and sand them down. It's just going to be like a little palette sign. So once we have our 4 6-inch pieces cut, we're going to glue those together by using 2 4-inch pieces, and it's just going to hold these pieces of wood together instead of gluing each individual piece so you don't have all that hot glue sticking out. So once I have all that put together, I'm going to sand it down to get rid of those rough edges. And then I'm going to give it a base coat of green paint, and I ended up giving it 2 coats. Once we have it painted green and it's dry, I'm going to take my printable and I'm going to put it on top of the green. We're going to transfer it on there. Of course we're going to put it on there. We're going to transfer it on there. Once I have that transferred on there, I'm going to go across it with this nutmeg brown paint. Give it 2 coats, and once that's dry, we're going to peel off the love sticker. Now for the final touches, I'm just adding a bow I made out of this green ribbon that I also got from the Dollar Tree. And then I'm making a stand by using some scrap wood. It's just some flat pieces. And again, I'm making like my V stand, I call it. I don't know what it's actually called, but I find that this really helps give it some structure and keeps it standing. And I'm just reinforcing it with some hot glue. And once that's done, this project's complete. Give me a big thumbs up if you liked it. Okay, so for this sign, I'm just using one of these pieces of wood that you can get from the Dollar Tree in their wood section. And it's really rough, so I'm sanding it down so it's got a smoother surface. And then I'm going to give it a coat of white paint. And once that white paint is dry, then I'm going to get some masking tape or some painter's tape, and I'm going to tape off some edges here. And I think I left like a 1/4 inch edge on all 4 sides. And what I'm doing is I'm just taking this roller that I also got from the Dollar Tree, which is fantastic, and I'm just making my tape even just so I can get a nicer cut edge when we paint this. So once I have it taped off, I'm taking this lime green and I'm going to give all the edges 2 coats of this lime green paint. Now, here comes the satisfying part. Once our green paint is dry, I'm going to peel off my painter's tape so that we're left with this pretty green edging and this white center. And we'll have some nice crisp edges. Now, if it did bleed through, I did go over and take some white paint and cover up my pencil marks where I wanted to set the tape and stuff. So you can go over it with some white paint and cover up any mistakes. Now I'm taking the scrapbook paper that I got from, I think it was Michael's. And I'm taking one of these hearts that you can also get from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just using it to trace out the shape of the heart. And what I did is I folded my paper in half so that I can make 1 cut and get 4 hearts out of this. And you can see here by folding it in half that I got 4 even cut hearts. They're all going to look the same. And it just saves some time. But you're actually only going to need 3 of these. So I couldn't figure out how to just get 3. Anyway, so then I took the smaller heart that you can get out of that pack from the Dollar Tree, and I also did the same thing with the smaller heart to get 4 smaller hearts. I know I didn't show it. I didn't figure there was any need to. You just fold the paper in half, trace the smaller heart just like we did the bigger heart, and you get 4 smaller hearts. So now I'm going to glue these just using regular glue onto my sign in the shape of a shamrock, and you can see how I'm doing that here with the hearts. And then the smaller hearts are going to be the stem of the shamrock. And we're going to glue all 4 of those down. Now this next step, I didn't get all the footage, but I took a pair of scissors that I have that make this edge. I don't know what they're called on the scrapbook paper. And I cut me out a round circle. And then I took these chalkboard stickers that I have and placed one on top of that. And I'm just roughing it up, or seasoning it, if that's what you want to call it, with the chalk so that it's easier to write on. And then I have these chalk dry erase markers that actually came with this pack. And I think I ended up getting this pack at Target, if I'm not mistaken. But that's been so long ago, I can't tell you where I got the sticker pack. So once I have the chalk on there and ready to go, I'm taking the chalk dry erase marker and I'm just going to write out Happy St. Patrick's Day on that. So then here I'm just taking some of these pop-up foam squares and attaching to the back so that it looks like the sticker or the chalkboard sticker is raised up from the piece. And I'm just going to attach it to the left-hand corner of my piece. Now I'm just taking some of this yarn that you can also get from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to make me one of my little simple bows where I wrap it around my hand, then tie it in the middle, and you have a perfect little bow. Once I have the bow made, I'm going to glue that to the middle of my shamrock. Then once I have that glued down, I'm going to take a square piece that I have. It came out of my stash. Actually, it's one of these alphabet square pieces. You can also get the square wooden pieces at the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to glue that to the back for our stand, and that makes this project complete. Okay, so for this project, you're going to need one of these palettes you can get from the Dollar Tree. I'm using this newspaper print scrapbook paper that I also got from Hobby Lobby. And I'm just going to trace the palette onto the back of the scrapbook paper so that I can cut out the right size. And the way I find to do this so much easier for me is I go ahead and I glue it down on the scrapbook paper and I just cut around it. I don't know, it's just easier for me to do it this way. I know some people will trace it and then cut it out, but I just feel like I can get a better handle on it by doing it this way. And then I cut off the extra scrapbook paper. And I'm going to take this antique wax and I am going to take a wet baby wipe and I'm just going to wipe around the edges of this piece to kind of give it like an old look or a worn look, or like the paper's been through everything. You can also use tea, dip in the baby wipe into some tea if you want, or actually put the piece of paper in tea and let it soak, or coffee. I find it just as easy to use a wet baby wipe and this antique stain. And once I have that on there, we're going to let it dry. And once that's dry, I'm going to take this green. Again, it's the Kelly green, and I'm mixing my green paint that I like so much to kind of get the forest green. So I'm mixing the Kelly green in with the antique wax. And I'm going to give this shamrock, which you can get out of a pack of 10 from the Dollar Tree. And I'm painting the back that doesn't have the glitter on it. And we're going to give that 2 coats of paint. And then we're going to let that dry. Now, once that's dry, I'm going to take some hot glue and we're just going to glue that onto our palette sign, making sure that it's on there really good. And then once we have our shamrock glued down to our palette sign, I'm going to take the sticker that's in this sticker pack that says Family Time, and I'm just going to put it underneath the shamrock. And now I'm just taking a button that I got out of a thing of buttons from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just putting it in the middle of the shamrock. And then I made me a little simple bow out of that same yarn that you can also get from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to put it in the middle of the button, just like so. And then we'll make a stand for this project, and that'll make this project complete. Give me a big thumbs up. Okay, this is another super simple project. You're just going to need one of these square wooden pieces you can get from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to paint it in my Waverly Antique Wax, and I'm just going to wipe some of it off with a paper towel once I have it painted on there so that it's not too dark. Now, this wood that you can get from the Dollar Tree is so raw that it does soak up the paint in the wax, so it does give you kind of a little darker color. So you need to work really fast to try to get most of this off if you don't want it too dark. And then once I have it painted with the Waverly Antique Wax, I'm wiping it down as hard as I can with a wet paper towel and just trying to get a lot of that excess off so that it's not so dark. So going back to the window cling set that I've used in the video before this, I'm going to take some Mod Podge and cover this wooden piece with the Mod Podge. Like I said, I've used this pack before in the video I made before this. I think it was just the St. Patrick's Day Decor. And I'm just going to use the front side of the truck and I'm going to Mod Podge this onto the square piece. And then coat it with Mod Podge again so that it doesn't go anywhere. And that makes this project complete. You can do anything with these window clings. I just love them. Okay, so for this project, you're going to need 5 square blocks. I'm repurposing these. I used these for something else. That's why they're painted white. So you don't have to paint them white. They can be raw wood blocks. And I'm mixing up my green by using the Kelly green and the antique wax. And I'm going to give each block a coat of this green on all the sides, except for the bottom. You don't really have to paint the bottom of these because nobody's going to see them. But anyways, I'm going to paint these green, give them 2 coats, and let those dry. And then once we have those dry, I'm taking these stickers that I got from Dollar General, and I'm going to spell out the word lucky, and I'm going to put those on my blocks. As you can see, they're a little big for my blocks, so I'm just taking my detailed scissors, and I'm cutting off all this excess. Then once I have the stickers on there, I'm going to take the Waverly chalk paint in white, and I'm going to give them 2 coats of white paint. Then once that white paint is dry, we're just going to peel off the stickers so that the color green will be shining through and it will say the word lucky. Once we have that, this project's complete. Get all those stickers off and we're done. Let me know what you think. Okay, so for this project, we're going back to using the window clings. Yay, fun, love them. And I'm going to give this scrap piece of wood a coat of my Waverly wax. And I don't think it's really a scrap piece of wood. This is a piece of wood I think I got from the Dollar Tree wood bin. Love that they carry the scrap wood now. So I'm going to end up giving that a coat of Waverly wax, and we're going to wipe off all the excess. And once I have that painted, I'm going to coat it in some Mod Podge, give it a nice healthy coat. So now we're going to take this window cling that says Irish off the pack of window clings I've been using, and I'm going to Mod Podge that onto there, and that's going to make this simple, super easy, budget-friendly, fast project complete. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you would do with the window clings. Let me just jump in here. This project isn't complete yet. I went ahead and added some of these clovers that also came off that window cling set to finish off the project. Now this project's complete. Okay, I was wrong again. The project isn't complete. I added a tower tumbling block for a stand. Now this project's complete. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the completed project. Okay, so this next project, you're going to need some material from the Dollar Tree. I'm using this plaid green, and I'm also using a solid green, which you can't see because I have the solid green on bottom. And I'm just going to take my rotary cutter and I'm just cutting the edges to just get a straighter edge. I've got both pieces of material together so that they can all be cut the same. Now that I have it squared off, I'm going to cut it in half. And as you can see the solid green that I'm using down there. And this piece right here is going to be one pillow. And then I'm going to cut this other piece in half and we'll make 2 pillows out of that. So with this one, I'm going to start gluing it together, or you can sew it, whatever you prefer. I don't have a sewing machine, so I didn't want to hand sew. I can hand sew like there's no tomorrow, but I just don't want to. My hands don't work that way. And then I'm just going to stuff it. I'm using some paper towels, but you can use some polyfill or some paper bags, whatever you have on hand. I just happen to have paper towels handy. And I'm going to stuff it and I'm going to glue it together. And that's going to make kind of like a long body pillow, but it's a mini body pillow for our tier tray. Now I'm taking that other half, and like I said, we're going to cut it into half so that we have 2 mini pillows. And again, I'm going to glue both pieces of material together, leaving an opening so that we can stuff it. And I'm just going to stuff both of these with paper towels. Now I'm just going to cut off all the nasties, fringy pieces and stuff off my pillows, make them look real pretty and everything. And once I have all that cut off, I'm going to take some stickers that I got out of a sticker pack from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to put some stickers on these. Now I went back and forth with the stickers because at first I didn't know if I wanted to put anything on them, but I thought they just kind of looked plain. So I found this heart and key and this welcome off this pack of stickers, and I just decided to kind of make it look like one piece. So I added them on there, and then I glued the pillows onto the long pillow, and that made this project complete, and it makes our tier tray projects complete. So leave me a comment in the comment section down below and let me know which one of these projects was your favorite, and let me know if you made a St. Patrick's Day tier tray this year. I know not too many people decorate for St. Patrick's Day, but it's a little something different and I don't mind doing it. So again, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll be notified of all of my future uploads. And click on the videos that's popping up on your screen now to check out some of my other videos. And I just want to say thanks for watching and thanks for sticking around. See you in the next video. Bye guys.